Hey everybody, it's Chris again, and this is comparison video number 2 for the week. Today we'll be looking at stable fairways. So from Westside Discs we'll have the Boatman and the Longbowman. From Latitude 64 we'll have the St. Pro, the Culverin, and then the GL Spark. And from Dynamic Discs we'll include the Convict. Similar to the approach video from earlier this week, really any of these discs could possibly work for you. It kind of depends on what you're looking for, but you're going to hear more of my thoughts on each individual disc as the video goes. And I don't want to do a lot of commentary here because you will get to see all the flights and what I'm thinking there. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please leave comments and questions so that I can get back to you, and enjoy. Thanks. The first disc up in this challenge is the Boatman from Westside Discs. I did find this disc to be a little bit faster than the other fairways that were here, and because of its 2.2 centimeter rim, I think it compares more favorably with the Trespass Sword and Flow. So that is actually where I've been recommending it as a more stabilized version of those discs. Disc number 2 in the challenge is the Longbowman, also from Westside Discs. In this challenge, I found it to be the most overstable of the discs, very reliable in the wind, very easy to throw, with a 1.8 centimeter rim, very comfortable in the hand as well. Disc number 3 is Latitude 64's Culverin. This disc is just a touch straighter than the Longbowman and probably a little bit longer as well. Also fairly comfortable in the hand with a 2.0 centimeter rim. Disc number 4 in the challenge is the St. Pro from Latitude 64. Of the discs I tested, this was the least stable of the group, but it does have great distance potential, very comfortable in the hand, also with a 1.8 centimeter rim, true fairway, great for shaping lines. The fifth disc up is the GL Spark, again from Latitude 64. I don't know what they changed about the cooling process and all that about the GL Spark as compared to the Opto Spark. Whereas the Opto is a very overstable disc, I found the GL Spark to be a great stable fairway with a reliable fade at the end. I would really look forward to seeing how these beat in. The final disc in this challenge was the Convict from Dynamic Discs. This disc is not quite as stable as the Spark or the Culverin, but is more stable than the St. Pro. So that means it's going to be reliable on windy days or windy situations for you, while retaining its ability to be a great shot shaping disc. And I almost forgot to mention it does have a 2.0 centimeter rim. And then we get out to the field. First up are the St. Pro and Boatman. I found these two to be the outliers of the group for me, the St. Pro being a little bit straighter than the other discs, and the Boatman being faster than the other discs. The Boatman almost always was the longest disc of the group, and the St. Pro was usually pretty close because of its glide. Next up are the Culverin and the Longbowman. This is the second time I've compared these discs. When they originally came out, I put them against each other to see how it would go. I've always found the Longbowman to be just a little bit more overstable and the Culverin just to be a little bit longer, and this test seemed to back up that opinion again. The final pairing is the Convict and the Spark. Convict is my current fairway in this slot, and the Spark is one that people have been telling me to test for a while, and I can definitely see why. The Spark is very reliable, easy to throw, and I think once it beats in, it's going to be shapeable as well. Here we have the Boatman and the Convict side by side, or top and bottom. As the discs fly, you actually see their flight paths are really similar in this headwind, with the Boatman just being a little bit faster and getting a little more distance overall. Next up are the Culverin and the St. Pro. I was actually pretty surprised by the flight of the Culverin on this video until I remembered how gusty it was that day and turned up the audio and realized they got hit pretty hard by the wind, so it actually fought pretty well in this flight. Here we have Longbowman versus Spark Part 1. You will see me release the Spark just a little bit more to the right than the Longbowman, but checking the flights you'll see the Longbowman doesn't flip up as much and its fade kicks in quicker, whereas the Spark tips up a little bit and then that reliable fade kicks in at the end of the flight. Here we have the Boatman and Culverin. They are going to have similar release lines. You're going to see the Boatman flip up just a little bit more while the Culverin just climbs in the sky a little bit higher. Distance-wise, again, the Boatman is a little bit longer than the Culverin, and the Culverin had more fade on this throw overall. And here we have Longbowman Spark Part 2. Again, you are going to get to see that the Longbowman has a little more stability than the Spark, but on the flip side of that, the Spark does have a little more distance. And here we have the St. Pro and the Convict. These were the two least stable of the tested discs. Although I do find the Convict reliable in the wind, the St. Pro has given me a little bit of trouble. You're going to see the St. Pro absolutely bombs on this throw forward, whereas the Convict doesn't get as much distance, but again is a little more reliable on the fade. Final thoughts. If you're looking for a stable fairway that you know is going to fade at the end, go for a Longbowman. It's a little bit slower than the rest of this group, but super reliable. The Culverin's a little bit faster, not quite as stable, but I can tell why so many people love it, because it does have that reliable fade at the end. With the Convict, you're looking at a little bit less stable, but still very reliable. Again, for me, this is my current disc in that slot. And the GL Spark was the most eye-opening disc to me in this challenge. I think a lot of people are going to love that one. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video either informative or amusing. Either one works for me. If you have any questions, comments, or discs that you want reviewed, please put it down below so that I can get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Feel free to hit subscribe, and look forward to the next video. Thanks, everyone.